What is going on, everybody in the vinyl community? Craig here, back with my first vinyl update of 2014. Happy New Year, everybody. I know I'm a couple weeks, late to that, but hey, fuck it, who cares? It's my first video, I don't give a shit. How's everybody doing? Staying warm? I sure as shit am not. Freezing fucking cold here in Indiana. Gotta love it. Almost 28 years of living here, and I still bitch. Why? I don't know. I need something to bitch about for, the last couple of months. And I'm gonna need something to bitch about for at least the next 2 more months before it starts to warm up. Whatever. It's all good. Just more time inside to hibernate and, spin some fucking tunes. I know, I'm taking full advantage of that. So, BC cheer, everybody. Hope everybody's year has been off to a great start. Mine has, and it's just getting better. And especially with the finds. I mean, I'll tell you what's playing in the background first. Faith, Hope, Love by King's X. If you're a King's X fan, you already know how amazing this album is. Just fucking essential, one of the best albums. I mean, if you're not familiar with King's X, definitely this album and Gretchen Goes to Nebraska, both right at the top. Do yourself a favor, get a hold of those albums because you will be fucking mind blown. Found this on CD recently, about a week or so ago at Goodwill. Had it on cassette for years, but CD is a lot easier to transport and play at work. I don't know why they won't let me have a cassette deck there. Anyway, so 2014. Off to a killer start with the vinyl finds. I mean, I'm having some great CD finds and cassette finds as well. But vinyl, doing excellent. I'm really trying to keep the same mentality that I had for 2013, which is quality over quantity. Now, I've been collecting vinyl for about a good close to 20 years, give or take. Which means I was like 7, 8 years old when I started collecting. Yes, I know, weird. But it's always been my collecting habits up until the vinyl community happened for me, which was the spring, summer of 2011. Before that, my collecting kind of went in spurts every couple of months, pick up a handful of things, no big deal. I've always just been a perpetual kind of collector. I felt my collection was at a really nice stage until I became aware of the vinyl community, watching videos and seeing how big some collections were and what they had, and started putting all these things on my radar. And then just kind of from 2011 through 2012, my buying was just like soak up as much as I can, buy everything, get what you can. So it really became not so much the quantity over quality, because a lot of the titles I got were ones I wanted, and then hole fillers, stuff like that. So it's not so much like, I was just buying a whole bunch of shit, but there was a lot there. So I mean, that's a reason why my collection literally just over doubled in size in a matter of a year and a half. So thank you, BC. My wallet hated me still hates me. I gotta have a conversation with that thing. But the precedent I noticed over 2013 was not so much, because if I would have doubled what I had, I mean, you'd see more than one 5x5 Expedit behind me. A lot more of that quality, really picking out stuff that I needed, and getting hole fillers when they were cheap and stuff like that. So I'm kind of keeping the same mentality for this year, but I need to pull back a little bit more since I am getting married in 5 months. I can't get overly excited to buy everything, but picking out the good shit. And really my biggest thing in the last month or so has been digging back into the collection and really pulling out albums that I've either never spun because I bought so much in the last few years that they got shelved and forgotten about, or records I haven't spun in 10, 12, 15 years, ones that I haven't listened to other than a first spin so long ago, and just reconnecting with the collection, changing my buying habits a bit too. That really does help. Helps you refocus and then realize what gems you do have and not feel so bad about not getting out every day to buy something. But regardless, doesn't mean I'm not going out and digging. Still getting out, finding tons of cool shit, and we got a lot of stuff to get through. So let's jump right into it. So, really excited for spring coming up. Garage sales. Garage sales and spring cleaning. Spring cleaning means more shit at Goodwill. Got some Goodwill stuff to show in here. Got really lucky this week. But garage sales, great way to buy vinyl on the really, really cheap side. But since we're in winter, no garage sales, so you pretty much have to get reduced to your indoor flea markets, which I've got some stuff from my honey hole, and then like estate sales, which I'm gonna fucking gripe here for a minute about estate sales. I went to one last week, and then I had the one that I went to back in December. This is the second time that I've been to an estate sale where they only let a few people in at a time, which, okay, I get it if it's a smaller house, but I mean, I've been to smaller homes and have just been able to walk right in, peruse, and there have been the amount of people that I've seen at these have been the same amount, if not more. So I really don't understand that whole point. And then they had a fucking sign-up list for this last one. Where's the advertising for that? There's nothing saying, hey, if you arrive early, you know, you can put your name on the list and, you know, you can wait in line and reserve a spot. I just don't get it. So I end up standing in line out in the freezing ass cold for a half hour before I can get into this damn house. And even then, I got really disheartened because one of the first people that got to go in, immediately I could hear him. We were not too far back in the line, but far enough to where it was going to be waiting. We were going to be waiting a while. I could immediately hear this guy going, "Hey, where are the records at?" My heart fucking sank. Granted, I had to have known there were going to be more people out there that, you know, collect vinyl and probably going to get some. My heart sank. Felt like I was going to throw up. I kept my cool. Saw the guy come out, which actually he ended up being the guy who runs the record shows and supplies the honey hole. So, what a weird fucking coincidence. And he only had like 3 records under his arm, so, and they didn't look like anything that I was really into, so I was happy about that. But, still managed to get some really cool shit. Walked out there with some posters too, which I have those rolled up and put away. They'll be on display in my new music domain that I will have set up later on this year. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be epic. But what we're going to show here, vinyl. And enough of my rambling. Let's go ahead and get into these now. I got a couple that didn't have covers. Do I really buy records like that? No, I only have, this would make like 4 or 5 that I have that don't have their covers, but I really couldn't pass them up. They were only, I think they were 50 cents a piece. So I mean, for 50 cents, I couldn't pass them up. So the first one up here, you've got The Youth of Today by Musical Youth. This is actually a better album than I thought it would be. I mean, I bought it mainly because, you know, obviously Pass the Dutchie, but Heartbreaker. I really love that song. And spun the entire album, and it was actually really good. I really, really dug it. So I'm hoping to find, I mean, this is in pretty nice shape, but I'd love to find a really nice copy. Obviously with a cover too. So that was really cool to find. And the other one is compilation, Psychedelic Dream. It was from 1982. Basically just kind of a late 60s psych kind of compilation. You got some Spirit, Gone, Terry Reid, The Byrds, Kaleidoscope, United States of America. That's really cool. And Great Slick and the Great Society doing White Rabbit. So Great Slick pre-Jefferson Airplane. So that was really cool to find, and I couldn't pass that one up. And this one did have a sleeve. Rock and Roll by John Lennon. Covers got some wear, and the finals, you know, a little worn, but it had like one spot where it looked like it would have played fucked up, but it actually played through. So some scuffs and light scratches, but nothing that deterred, caused any weird sound thing. So anyway, Rock and Roll, just an album, covers, nothing great. And I mean, I've been looking for it just to kind of add to the collection, but to me this is a Lennon filler. Nothing that I'll really honestly spin more than a couple of times. but I'm a fucking completist, so I had to have it. And these ones were, I feel like we overpaid, but at the same time, I never see them, and I'm sure if I would have seen them at like any other store, they would have been going for more, just because they're fucking Beatles. And do I really need any more Beatles records? No, not really. Yellow Submarine's the only one I still need, and that's it. Everything else I've got, and I'm satisfied with, but I'm also an insane Beatle freak, so I had to have these. Now, these are all, I'll just show you, and we'll talk about these are counterfeits. So, introducing the Beatles. So I got 2 copies of this. I got this one, so you got No Shadow on this one. I believe this would be the later 70s bootleg. But Black Label. This one I'm keeping. This is beautiful. Beautiful near mint. Just plays awesome. So definitely worth the $10 in my opinion. Even though I have all these songs already on vinyl, like, it's really cool just to have it. And then these two, so you've got an older copy here of Introducing the Beatles, and a color band label. The vinyl looks worse than it actually plays. Played really nicely, cleaned up really nicely, but just a buttload of surface, scuffs and scratches and whatnot, but nothing deep, anything like that. Everything played right through, no clicks, stuff like that. But got Shadow on there, so another fake here. But this one and the next one here, which is a sealed copy of Songs and Pictures of the Beatles. This one, so this one and the other Introducing are going to be up for grabs. So, looking to sell them preferably. So I'll probably be putting those up. If you were interested at all, feel free to hit me up. I'm willing to sell them at a very reasonable price. I've already got a price in mind, and I put them up on the Vinyl Community selling page that I run, and nobody's really bidding at it, so putting it up in my video if anybody's interested. Let's talk, and I'll be willing to, maybe set something up. So, those are the estate sale finds. On to my Goodwill finds. Goodwill finds. Alright, so I went to Goodwill on my lunch break on Tuesday or something like that, and went through, just started digging, and all the records are 25 cents a piece, and that day they had 25% off everything. So, do the math. I'm not going to do the math now because I'm terrible at math. But, picked up 3, and couldn't leave them. I was so fucking excited. So first one up here, cover is just beat to all fuck. Vinyl beat up, but not to the point where it's unplayable. Like one of those where you see it and you're like, oh my god, wow. But you don't feel any scratches. You're like, okay, I'm at least gonna take it home, clean it up, and see, if it at least plays. And this, minus the surface noise, played great. Paul Butterfield Blues Band, self-titled original mono pressing on Elektra. Now, you can definitely tell this cover is beat up. Beat the fuck up. Now, thank God for double-sided tape. I was able to, this was all just coming up. So I went ahead and taped it all down. Same with the back. Saved what I could. So overall, I mean, it's just a cover. It looks like shit, but hey, you know what? It's a great placeholder until I find a really nice original mono press. But overall, like I said, the vinyl, just definitely well loved. But I mean, it played great minus the surface noise, and I was happy. You can't just leave it. Looking at this, I mean, if it were, anywhere else, and any more than, less than a quarter, I would have left it. But I've been on the hunt for this for so long that even though I know I can pick one up, but finding it, like a garage sale or a Goodwill or something like that, have that rewarding feeling of taking it home and at least cleaning it up and seeing if it plays. Which it did, so very, very excited. Smoking, just that Chicago electric blues, done right, mid-60s. classic. That album and East West are essential. If you're an electric blues fan, do yourself a favor and get them. Next one here, Four Top's Greatest Hits. Definitely got coverware, but the vinyl, pretty nice shape. Definitely seen its fair share of plays just by looking at the label. See all the spindle marks and whatnot, but overall played great, cleaned up well. And this is, I'm not a fan of greatest hits, but when it comes to certain artists and certain genres, greatest hits is a good way to go for me, especially Motown. I don't want to buy a ton of Motown albums because they're just not, I don't need to hear filler or, you know, tracks that I'm not crazy familiar with and that I know I really won't listen to, but give me a Motown greatest hits album any day. That's the best way I can hear those hits, because I love Motown, but I love the hits, and the Motown hits. Except for Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye would probably be the only Motown artist that I'd want to collect all of his albums. Well, that and Stevie Wonder too, but that goes without saying. And the last one, oh yeah, this one was the last one I found as I was digging. It was the last one in the last bin. I was so stoked to find this. Sladist. Oh my god, like this was one of those you pick it up and you're like, oh my fuck. It was still in the shrink, but the shrink was tearing off, so I went ahead and took that off. But I mean, cover's in excellent shape, vinyl, definitely seen its fair share of play, but overall, cleaned it up, played well. I mean, for less than a quarter for some fucking classic Slade, I couldn't leave it. There's no way I would be able to feel right with doing that. And you know what? Slade never pops up around here. The only time it ever pops up is Keep Your Hands Off My Power Supply. It's the only one I ever see around here. And I've had that for years. So, been on the hunt for earlier Slade, and this just, oh yeah, that made my fucking day. And I still had the rest of work to go before I could take this home and clean them up, so you can only imagine how excited I was that entire day. Just going, oh my god, get me home, I want to listen to them, I want to clean them, I just want to touch them. It sounded dirty, didn't it? Very dirty. Alright, so on to some eBay finds. I've been doing really good about staying off of eBay, and when I've gotten on, I've picked out some really, really good ones, like stuff I never see around here and probably never will. First one up, this one has really become a metal classic thanks to the documentary that came out on them. The documentary on them that came out a few years ago and really put them on my radar. I had heard of them from the Metal A Headbanger's Journey film, but didn't really get that heavy into them until I saw the documentary, I believe a year or two later, something like that. Then I've been on the hunt for this album on vinyl ever since, and I finally found it, and I got an insanely good price. Metal on Metal by Anvil. Oh my god, you have no idea how excited I was to find this in beautiful, beautiful shape. This looks unplayed. I mean, it's just, I about lost my mind. So this is a French import, I believe. It says made in France. I'm guessing French. But this is just essential if you were into early metal. I mean, like, this really was the prototype and like the basis you can see for bands that came into the thrash movement and stuff like that. Or just metal in general. You see the evolution of where metal would go with this album in particular. It really just covers all bases and essential. If you find a copy of this, pick it up. This is not one you will see very often unless you fucking live up in Canada. I'm sure you'll be able to have better access to some Anvil. I'd hope. But, oh my god, that one, it's having a hard time leaving the turntable. Next one, essential. If you were an 80s synth fan, you need this album. Black Celebration by Depeche Mode. Beautiful, near mint, embossed cover, everything. Oh, this is just classic Depeche Mode. really moving into that dark. I mean, this is a dark album, but really just dark, atmospheric, great lyrics, killer songwriting, and I love this album, and I'm so glad that I was able to finally get it at a really nice price and in beautiful shape. So, love me some Depeche Mode. And these next two, I have been really into this band for about the last 4 or 5 years. Kind of discovered them on my own. This was pre-VC, so back in the days where I just kind of sit on the computer for hours at a time, just looking for different bands. Basically, you start searching from one band and look at their influences and keep going back, or, you know, you get led on a different path. And I found these guys, became a huge fan instantly, been really hunting for stuff by them on vinyl, and virtually had little to no luck. I was able to find an EP at a record show, I think late 2012, and around about the same time I found a US compilation of a couple of their albums. And other than that, just no real luck, and even online, it's very hard to find anybody in the US who's selling these particular albums. And at the price I got them, I cannot believe I was the only bidder. $3 a piece, then I got a priority shipped, so that was an extra, it's like 6 something or other, so basically for just under 13 bucks, I got both of these 1984, I believe they're UK reissues, Japan, Adolescent Sex, Fame label, and Quiet Life. Both beautiful, beautiful, near mint. Just insane to finally get these. And if you are not familiar with Japan at all, it really evolved from a late kind of post-punk-ish early new wave into really just full-on, like, a little bit more of the artsy side of new wave and very early synth pop, but not really, you know, synth pop, just really in that post-punk new wave, but really artsy. This one, a lot more leaning towards the post-punk type of stuff. And then this is where we get more new wave, artsy, pre-Gentlemen Take Polaroids, which is a fucking essential, great album. Still need to find that on vinyl. That, Tin Drum, Obscure Alternatives, I believe that's what it's called, and Oil on Canvas. So I still got a ways to go on my Japan collection, but regardless, 2 Japan albums I've been wanting for really long time. Finally got them, and see what I've been saying about the quality over quantity? It's stuff like that, finding really good stuff like that, that just makes me not too big on like wanting to dig. I've been getting really good deals on stuff that mean more than buying. Getting those two mean more to me than buying 20 or 30, you know, records at a time. Yeah, I could come home with a huge bulk of records, but I mean, what if, you know, half of them are just filler? You know, they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna like 3 songs on this album. Okay, whatever. You know, it's another, you know, whoever REO Speedwagon album that I can have, even though I have them all. But regardless, you know, it's like if I bought one of their, you know, kind of in between filler albums. You know, kind of like, oh, I liked like 2 songs on it. It was all right, cool, whatever. You know, I'll spin it again in another 6 years. But these, you know, these will see the turntable multiple times in a matter of, you know, a week. Hell, I'm having a hard time choosing out of those which one to play next. So, fuck yes. Alright, the last ones are all finds from my honey hole. So, my $3 spot. The first 4 are going to be ones that I bought on New Year's Eve, but they kind of count as 2014 buys. We'll count them as that. So, kind of some filler type of stuff, but really good finds, and couldn't pass them up. So first one up here, you got The Art of Control by Peter Frampton. So early 80s Peter Frampton, nothing too fancy, but I'm a fan, so I gotta have it. I've never seen that on vinyl before, so I had to pick it up. It was $3. It was near mint. I had to get it. Greatest Hits Volume 2 by the Eagles. I've had Volume 1 since I was a kid, so I had to get Volume 2. I'm a completist. I had to get it. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Greatest Hits, but I couldn't leave it. This one, hole filler. I was thinking hole filler at first, but then when I went and spun it, I was really, really surprised. It was a really good album. Audio Visions by Kansas. This is, I believe, 1980? Yep, 1980. I got this right after I got Monolith, and I was really disappointed with Monolith. I listened to that, and I was expecting better. You know, I found a lot of Kansas albums that I really, really enjoyed, and then just this, you know, Monolith really let me down. I thought that album sucked, but spun this one figuring it would be kind of alright. Really, really dug it. Great Kansas moving to that AOR sound. It was really fucking good. And this last one here, LJ, I know you're gonna dig this. Union Jacks by the Babies. Now, a while back I had sent, I don't know if I had 1 or 2 Babies records. I think I had 1. I think I had Head First. And I sent that over to LJ because I really wasn't digging the Babies at the time. I have Anthology. I've got that on CD, cassette, and vinyl. And something kind of spoke out to me, just, hey, pick this album up, give it a listen, give the Babies another try besides just the greatest hit, you know, package. And I really dug this album, mainly because it's got me back on my feet again, and I absolutely love that song. One of the best songs from that era of music. I really, really love that song. And John Wade was still playing in concert when I saw him about 10 years ago. Actually, 11 years ago, on that song. But anyway, the Babies, Union Jacks, just great, great stuff. I'm really getting back into the Babies, so definitely going to be picking up the rest of their catalog, which isn't a lot. I think there's like 3, 4 more that I need to get. Don't quite remember. But totally stoked with those. So, today was really, really good day for me. They updated Honey Hole yesterday afternoon, and the pictures they posted were all albums I already had, but he said he put out a lot of classic rock, hard rock, you know, 80s metal type stuff. And immediately I'm like, great, that stuff's gonna go like that. Somebody's already gonna jump on it. I'm fucked. So either way, got up, got in there right as they opened, and I am amazed. This is the second time that this has happened where they've put pictures up of something that I've been really interested in and figuring I was going to get screwed, and then I end up going in there and they haven't. I don't know. My luck has been really good and on my side, so I don't know. It's weird. But he put in a ton of killer shit. I mean, if I were new to collecting, I would have bought out the entire lot. There was a lot of stuff that I already had, but if I were a new collector, lots of AC/DC, Judas Priest, stuff like that. I mean, I looked at a couple things as possible, maybe upgrades, but they were right in the same league as mine, and most of my stuff's in really nice shape, so I wasn't too worried. But for $3 a piece, you really can't beat picking up some of this stuff. So, but I did manage to get a couple of nice upgrades for me. Women and Children First, Van Halen classic. My cover was shot, my vinyl was really bad and just well loved. No deep scratches, but just one of those where it just lost its shine. Just looked sad. But no poster, but hey, for $3, beautiful shape, I'm not gonna leave it. That's rare, you just don't see. They price Van Halen like it's the Beatles around here. You throw a $8.99 tag on a fucking fair copy. Bullshit. And Stay Hungry by Twisted Sister. I've been needing an upgrade for about a good, Jesus. I got my copy on vinyl, I want to say about 17 years ago. And even then, that was just beat to all fuck. And It was free, so I couldn't bitch, but I've been waiting for a really cheap, nice copy to come in, and this is about as nice as it's going to get. Other than some cover wear and stuff like that, vinyl's in pretty good shape, way better than mine, so very excited. Classic Twisted Sister. I've listened to this album so many times that I don't know what to say other than it's a great album, but my personal favorites are Under the Blade, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll. But hey, Stay Hungry still has a place in my heart. It's no Love Is for Suckers, but hey, if you're a Twisted Sister fan, you know what I'm talking about. Now, on to the other ones. Just all ones that have been on my list, on my radar, really excited. First one up here, Flip of the Switch by AC/DC. One of the last ones, really I think the last AC/DC I needed before we get into the harder to find stuff, you know, Razor's Edge, and so on. Definitely got some wear to the cover, but the vinyl is in beautiful shape, so I couldn't leave it. Who knows, I might find a near mint cover with a, you know, fucking shot to hell, you know, vinyl one of these days for really cheap, and I could just Frankenstein. Couldn't pass it up. Very, very cool. Balls to the Wall by Accept. Classic Accept. Cover's pretty beat up, the vinyl, really nice shape. This one, I've seen it around a couple of times over the years, and every time I've never bothered to pick it up, I don't know why. And then when I finally got the album on cassette, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, something like that, I've been on the hunt for it ever since, and finally tracked down a beautiful, beautiful near mint copy. Come As You Are by Peter Wolf. Peter Wolf, vocalist from the Jay Giles Band. Great album. Love his solo work. Not as rockin' or like that bluesy, soulful, you know, stuff that he was doing in the Jay Giles Band, but still really good. I'm a sucker for anything 80s, and I'm a sucker for fucking Jay Giles Band. So, and the next two are ones that I haven't listened to yet, but both have been on my list, on my radar for a while. Back on the Streets by Donnie Iris. Got this one mainly for Aaliyah. Classic on classic rock radio, but definitely I've been trying to hunt down this one for the last decade, so finally found it on vinyl. And the last one, Can't Wait, Piper. Piper being the band that Billy Squier was in before he went solo. Looking forward to spinning this. Have not listened to it yet. I know LJ was talking about Piper. I don't know who else. I thought there was somebody else that was talking about him too a while back. So, been on the hunt for them ever since. Finally found this. So, really excited about that. Alright, on that note, that ends the vinyl update. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for welcoming in 2014. Another year on my channel. Entering year number, this will be the 3rd year. Wow. Fucking crazy, man. So, thank you to all my subscribers, old and new. Thank you to everybody who just stops by and watches. Everybody who comments, likes. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. If it weren't for you guys, I would not shoot these. So, until next time, stay tuned. I might have a non-vinyl update to do next weekend. Got something really special I'm going to go look at. Really excited about it. So, keep your eyes on my channel. You might see a small update coming. So, until then, see you guys in the next video.